to desire to inspire. To your mama's favorite podcast. What's going on, man? We've been together for like 30 minutes, but I feel like we actually haven't talked. Like,
I know.
There's been a lot of moving parts right now.
What is going on? A lot is fucking going on, brother. I was telling you, you're like, where's the mouse? Where's this? Where's that? And I'm like, I don't know. My life is just crazy right now. But that's because just came back from traveling.
Where were you?
This week I was in North Carolina, but like 3-4 hours away, kind of like in the Raleigh area.
Okay.
And then next week I'm back on the road in Georgia. Then I'm in Fayetteville. Then I'm in Ohio. Then I'm in Florida. So
like I say every week, wouldn't want to do it. Are you like, what are you feeling from all of this? Like, you feel burnt out at all? What do you feel like?
So old me would have probably been burnt out. But like when I say that I truly like have life and I'm controlling the direction, the movement, the stuff that's going on, like I am in control. I don't feel like life's in control.
I don't know if I actually know this or not. When you travel for work, it's like not someone saying, hey, you need to go here. It's like you deciding, I want to go to this place because there's this client there that I need to work with.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
So like this trip to Florida that I have coming up, my distributor reached out, hey, when you coming? We need you here. We got some meetings. Cool. I'll be there this week. There's some things, if it's not a busy travel week, then I'll be like, oh, let's go over to Wilmington. Let's go over to Charleston. And then I'll hit up people and be like, hey, you want to make sales calls? So that's what I'm learning right now. So for those of you that are new and tuned in, I do sales from my 9 to 5. And I just took over this territory at the end of last year. So now I own the territory. I get pinned if it's doing good or bad. And so I'm really like hammering things right now to hope that come July, August, maybe even a little bit before that, the rest of the year, it's building itself. Because if I'm building the relationships right between my distributors, then they're going to go out there, do their thing. We'll come together when we need to. So again, just trying to establish myself in the territory, let people know who I am, my work ethic, all that kind of stuff. So it shouldn't always be this busy, but again, when you want to fucking make money in sales, you fucking get after it and go. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it is easier, I guess, to not be burnt out when like, like you're striving to do it so you don't have to do it later.
Yeah.
Because I'm real burnt out lately. Not even like, I still have like energy to do the things I want to do, but like just the fucking monotony of like one job to the next. Actually, you haven't told you this, so I'll fill you in on a little bit of the background because it's about to get even worse. We usually leave work at like 3:00, which is early. We go in at 8, we leave at 3. We have an hour lunch in there.
Okay.
And we're supposed to work until 5, but since like training's been done, we haven't. He's like, there's not a lot of people in the office. Like, some days we'll do like one-on-ones or office hours so that we can kind of do stuff. And if we want to stay, we can stay. If not, we bounce.
Yeah.
Well, we left it Tuesday at 3 because he was on meetings, this and that. There was an executive in town, and he was in an office right next to his office, and he saw us all leave. And then the next day was Wednesday. There were some storms out here. Like schools got canceled and stuff. So one of the girls had messaged in the group, hey, schools are getting canceled and stuff. Like, I drive 45 minutes anyway, we can work from home. He's like, yeah, let's just be safe, stay home. He then got pinged by somebody like, yo, are you guys in office today? He's like, no, with everything going on, like, they were just worried about coming in. I told them stay home. And they were like, well, it kind of came up that they left at 3 yesterday, and then you guys are the only team not in office today. It's just not good optics. So now we have to stay in the office till 4:30 every day we're in the office.
And hit that shitty traffic.
And so I didn't know yesterday, and I had to work at 5:45. So I didn't take work clothes because it would have been easier for me just to take stuff, go to the gym, or even just go to work early and hang out. Then I battle traffic both ways, dude. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. So now that's my new reality, is that I'm driving from one straight to the other, which it's been nice to be able to hit like 3 or 4 miles in between, get a lift in between work.
Yeah.
And it like brings me out of work mode into like, okay, this is my time again. And so I'm really concerned.
Yeah, that's a lot. Have you weighed the pros and cons of keeping both, or maybe departing from?
I want to depart. I'm ready to depart, but like it's just such easy money. Like, I only work 4 hours. So like, it's really not bad. It's just long days. And then, like, lack of sleep catches up. By the weekend, like, I'm just ready to sleep. which I do. That's not like I don't. But like I feel like I'm not being able to. I feel like I could do so much more, which is in the works. Which like there is some stuff like on the editing side that I'm working towards building up. And once that's running and other things are taken care of, then it's like, okay, I can step away and put more time here.
Yeah.
And then it feels more like my time because it is stuff like I'll be learning a lot more. I feel like being able to put hands on different people's projects and stuff like that. It's just a lot of like pointless work at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a season of life right now. I mean, you look at our squad and there's people putting in a lot of time and effort, whether it's careers, themselves, different areas. And so I just like keep thanking God that I've worked and done what I've done over the last few years. Because truthfully, I don't know if I would have had the mental capabilities to travel as much as I'm doing, be present when I'm home, be able to make healthy food decisions, be able to make healthy social decisions. But not only that, like keep chugging along with this brand that we're trying to build and make noise around. And so, dude, I say it in my daily drive-bys. I say it on here. I tell you off air, I'm a loner when like you look at the grand scheme of life, like driving all those hours by myself, fucking running by myself, swimming, biking, doing yard work now that the weather's getting better. Like there's a lot of things that I do fucking solo, and I have a lot of time to just like reflect and look at life holistically of like what the fuck is important to me. And we talked about the pillars on one of the episodes early this season, but like, dude, I am so ingrained with Freddie and the direction that he wants to go that it almost is like selfish. I feel like like when I think about it, I'm like, damn, like I'm doing so much for me, but doing all of that and taking that time and all of that stuff is allowing me to then be more in so many other areas that when life gets busy, I can maintain it and I don't get burnt out and I don't get stressed out and I don't bitch. Like, dude, I had a shitty ass day at work yesterday. I'm on the phone with Lo. How's work going? Oh, it's going good. It was a busy day. But I'm not sitting here like, man, fuck this, fuck that. I can't. It's like, yeah, the situation I was in was pretty shitty today. But guess what? We figured out a solution for it and we move forward. And so I'm not stressing about little things. I'm not letting stuff bother me, which I think is helping me in the long run have this vision and this mindset to keep going, because it's still easy for me to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. It's still easy for me to wake up at 5 in the morning if I want to. It's still easy for me to go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock if I want to. It's still easy for me.
I wish, dude.
Every night.
That's
It
the
is.
dream.
And there's some nights where Lo's like, oh, you're going to bed already? And it's like, yeah, it's my routine. But that's because when I wake up, I'll be able to have the energy to do this stuff. If I was staying up late, if I was eating shitty like I was at the end of last year, none of this would be possible. And so I ask myself, and I get asked like from my family and stuff back in Ohio, dude, you're always, I don't never know where you're at anymore. It's like, yeah, sometimes I don't even know where I'm at because I'm just go, go, go. And then I look back and be like, holy crap. And so it's really cool because even though I'm doing all these different things, work, personal, professional, business, all this stuff, my mind is just intact. It's like the Energizer Bunny right now. Creatively, this and that. I was just out at a work trip in Raleigh this week, and we went to a steakhouse with clients and everything, have a dinner. Guess what? Everybody's fucking ordering drinks, having a great time. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll get an old-fashioned today. I was in the back of my head, hold strong, you're feeling too good. Not that I can't have a drink or not that but
that's the key though, is not putting a negative attachment on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like where like, don't do it for like XYZ reason. Like do it because you know you'll feel better. Like if you do it like, don't be a fucking bitch. Like you're going to want it even more. Like we beat ourselves up over stuff when like really it should be that like just hold true to like, you literally hold a standard.
Yep.
Like, if this is the standard you set for yourself, keep that.
And that is the perfect explanation or way of saying it is like, I've taken my decision-making from here and I've elevated it to like have a focus on it. I was talking to one of our boys on the phone the other day, and he was like, how's life going? How's this? And I was like, brother, dude, I'm so excited for life right now. I'm so excited. Like it almost felt like I was on a drug or I was drunk because it was just like the excitement was exuding my body. And I was like, I just can't say much about certain stuff, and just know like life is going good right now, bro. He's like, I love that. He's like, you don't got to tell me no more. Keep working on the stuff you're doing. Keep building the stuff that you're doing. He goes, I can see that like there's some spark in life right now. And it's through establishing habits in life. We talk about habits all the time, and people probably roll their eyes for how much we bring it up. But if I were to fucking drop dead today, I would want people to know, like, he always said to instill habits in his life. He always did this. He always did that. And it's through the habits. I laid that foundation, and I've just continued to build on it. Now I finally feel like there's a structure being built, and there's things that are happening. Rooms are coming. Like, it's cool, bro. It's cool. I have no other explanation for it other than I'm really enjoying life right now.
That's what's up. I like, and that's even like saying I feel burnt out in ways that I don't like to bitch like that. Cause like, and honestly, it's not even bitching. It's just like, I'm like kind of exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. Like, there's just certain things, and it's even like those things aren't things that I necessarily need to do. They're definitely helpful and beneficial, and I know that they're moving the needle forward, so they are kind of things that have to get done.
Yeah.
But like, it's more I'm making that decision to do them. It just feels hamster wheeling. Like I'm just like literally going through the motions. Like I'm just doing things, but I know that eventually I'm gonna be able to step back and not do it, and then it's gonna be like the time that I am getting back, I'm gonna appreciate so much more, and then I can it's literally just gonna be like pouring fucking gas on a fire with everything that we can do. Yeah.
I think it's being intentional and mindful. So you know that life is busy right now for you. You know that there's a lot of things going on. You know that it's hard to go from one job to the next, to balance a fiance, to friends, to whatever. But there's going to come a point where it's like, okay, so do the pros outweigh the cons? And if they don't, then let's fucking change.
But it also keeps me like in check in a way. It makes the time that I do have super productive. I know that I'm editing the podcast on my lunch break. I know that if I have an hour between jobs, I'm getting shit done. And people at my second job will be like, when do you ever see your fiance? And I don't feel like there's any shortage of time like that we spend together. So like, I don't feel bad. Like there's some times where we don't spend the night because I'm at work. Like if I work the second job, we don't stay together. I'm like, you need to go to bed. Like I'm not keeping you up until 10:30, 11 when I come in, getting the dogs all riled up now. Like, it just doesn't need to happen. Like you handle it, and I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah.
But I know guaranteed every Wednesday we're cooking a meal at home and we're spending time together. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have every evening together at a bare minimum. So it's like there is times for things. It does kind of keep me in check, I guess. So as much as like I'm feeling like, fuck, I got to go from one job to the next right now. Like I know it's helping me to make better decisions in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, I've proud of you, man. You fucking stay consistent with some of the stuff that you said you were going to put a focus on, whether that's training or social media or whatever it is. And I think that all that also helps those busy times in life, even though it's another thing on the plate, but it's making sure that you're checking your boxes. And so I just was having a conversation the other day, and it was like checking in, seeing how people are doing. I like to do that. Like, hey, just checking in, this and that. Or when I see like patterns or habits shift in people, hey, what's going on? All right, cool. Just want to check in, make sure things were going good. But at the end of the day, like when life is busy and when you're going through that season of life, make sure that you're checking your own boxes as well. Because if you start going through life, working this job, then going to this one, neglecting this, blah, 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 then you're not going to have the mindset that you do right now, where it's like, all right, I'm going to push through this. I'll get it done. I'm still making sure all this stuff is happening. But you got to make sure you're checking in with yourself and checking those boxes for you, whether that's the physical aspect of working out, whether that's journaling, meditating, cold showers. Stick to the script of doing those things daily, because during this busy or hectic season of life that people go through all the time, it will keep you grounded and it won't make you burn at both ends. And I think you gave me this analogy of it's not going to make you burn at both ends to the point where you just completely lose it all because you just are mentally drained, you're physically drained, and now you have no energy to move
keeping
forward.
Your own boxes checked, I think, is super important. It's obviously something that we always put a focus on and that we preach about, but that's something that even when it is busy like this, I make the time. If that means I have to wake up earlier or I have to get stuff done in between jobs, it always gets done. Like, just those things that I know to keep my mind right are 100% getting done. And like you said earlier, it is selfish in a way.
Yeah.
Like, it is time that could be spent doing other things. But if I can't show up for myself, I'm not going to be able to show up for you either. Like, I'm going to show up irritated. I'm going to show up not focused. I'm not going to even be engaged in a conversation with you if I can't handle my own shit. And so, while like the things that you were saying earlier might seem selfish to people, or even to yourself at times, like I'm being selfish, I think that you need to be selfish in order to be selfless on the line. Like the things that you're doing right now, that we're doing right now to like set ourselves up is going to allow for when we do have children, when we do have this future family, to show up so much better, dude. Like, we're going to finally be through all of the BS and all of this season of grind and hustle, which I hate to even title it, but it's kind of what it is right now. It's just a season of grinding everything out. But we're going to be out of that, and we're going to be able to, kind of like you're doing with your sales territory right now, like build it up to a point and let it run itself.
Yeah, I like that.
And then that way we can spend the time growing in the family, growing in the faith, growing with ourselves, and everything else is going to flourish as a result of that.
Yeah, I think what's important too is like, this actually could take this conversation really good and a little bit deeper, is do you spend time focusing on what you consume in life so that way it doesn't cloud the stuff that you're doing? So what I mean by this is...
Can you go a little deeper?
Yep. Is...
My voice just sounded deep right there for some reason. I don't have a deep voice. Like, that was weird.
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to.
What?
What I mean by that is there are people out there. Oof, dude, there's so many buckets unchecking with this. There are a lot of people out there that let the world be something that they consume so much that it then is something that they focus on so much, which in turn stops them from being disciplined with their boxes. They're not checking them off. They're not doing their habits because that free time that they have or that's allotted is soaking in toxic energy from social media platforms or things going on in the world politically that they then can't even take the time over here. And so do you limit what you consume, or do you tailor what you consume to make sure that it doesn't hinder you from achieving what's truly important in life? Training, relationship.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the easy one here is news. It's politics. It's the left versus the right. Both sides have an agenda that they're going to push. And if you were to look at like literally both of like whatever the main news platforms are, don't even know what they are because I pay that little attention.
Yeah.
They're both going to have a completely opposite take on whatever the problem is at hand. And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But people start to lean one way or the other, and now they can't do anything else. Like, that takes up their entire mind.
That or who they follow on social media.
Yeah. That's just one specific example so people know what we're talking about here. But so I don't listen to any of the outside noise. I'm very honed in on what I know is going to help fuel me or the areas of life that I'm focused on, whether that be running, whether that be podcasting, whether it be just personal development, faith, whatever those things are, that's what I take in. I've been super like hyper vigilant this year on what I consume. There's a lot of podcasts that I listened to previously that were strictly entertainment, like comedy podcasts. I really have not listened to a lot at all this year just because I don't have the time for it. Like every once in a while I'll put it on, like if I really just need an escape, because I can't listen to it 24/7 because then it feels like I'm just doing too much and it's just hammering. And like we talk about Gary Vee all the time where he says like if you consume too much, you're just doing it just for the act of consuming and you're not actually putting action behind it.
Yeah.
There will even be times where I put on ones that I think are going to be personal development ones. And I have like, I'm like, this is doing nothing for me. I'm not going to waste my time here and I'll get out. But I've been like focused on books when I run. I've been listening to a lot of like faith-based books on my runs. Put it like 1.25, 1.5 speed and just go.
Yep.
And just listen all the way through. And that is something I would have never done. I'd have put on music or I'd have put on a podcast.
You used to tell me, I don't know how the fuck you do that.
Yeah.
Because I used to say that I listened to audiobooks or whatever. And it would, I mean, this is years ago. This isn't like anything recently, but.
Well, I was big on podcasts for the longest. Yeah. And I still enjoy listening to podcasts on runs. But even like just the content of the podcast is shifting. Like things that I want to listen to are things that align with the 4 pillars, man. Like, it's where my morals and my values are moving forward. And I don't have time for things that are going to come in and pull me away from that, because yes, in the moment it's an escape, but over the long term, like, it is infiltrating your thoughts. It's infiltrating the way that you think. And I can't afford that if where I want to go doesn't align with that mission or that message.
Yeah. I'm glad that my brain kind of connected that and thought of it, because I've been seeing a lot lately that Trump is now 60 days into his term, and people are saying he's 60 days in and this is up and that's up, and people are focusing and highlighting all of these like things that aren't working in the direction that they want them to, or aren't going in the direction that they want them to. But then I like thought about it on a deeper level, and I'm like, dude, it is so sad that people focus so much on this energy and attention of what somebody else is or isn't doing to their liking, that they then let it in turn cause relationship arguments with their friends, their family. It will make them lash out online. It will make them take time away from their day and the things that are truly important to elevate them and to grow them and to make them have an impact on this world and this life, to make it change. And so I started thinking about it, because I was like, you know what's crazy? If I sat here right now and I was like, I love what Trump has done in the last 60 days. You guys are all focusing on the wrong things. He's done X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. Dude, you know how many people would probably message me that we know on whatever platform? If I post it on Facebook, or if this clip goes out and somebody sees this, they will then comment or say something to me in the DMs of, you're crazy, I can't believe you think that way, blah, 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 whether I really do or don't. But on the flip side of it, it's like, have you guys not heard what I stand for? Have you not heard what I focus on? Have you? None of that shit matters. That was one little thing that I said, but it would probably garner more attention
100%.
because it's just this toxic fucking energy.
But it would also bring the opposite side to like people like patting you on the back and like, hell yeah, stand up for the, and like when that's not even what you were doing, you were just saying something, making a statement, and now people are trying to rally behind you. It would go both ways, which is super weird. And honestly, like, I don't know, man. Like, the people who let this shit control their whole life, personality, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'll never understand it. Like, the fact that, like, you don't have enough going on in your own life that you can focus that much time and attention on something that, yes, there's things that affect you, obviously. Like, these things affect us all in some way or another. But how much control do you really have over the situation?
Right.
Control the shit that you can control. Stop focusing on these things. It's all an excuse. It's an illusion. It's somewhere else to put attention, so you don't have to focus on yourself, and you can say, oh, well, this is going on, that's why I am the way I am, that's why this is this way. It's literally all excuses and pointing the blame anywhere but at yourself.
Yeah. I did my daily drive-by this week, and one of the things that I stated in it is far too many of us want change in this world, and they think because we're a certain age or because we're a certain something that we deserve to have more, that we deserve to be put up here. And why haven't we got that promotion? Why aren't we making enough? Why aren't we buying our own house? Why aren't we able to buy a new car? But all these other people can do this. And I'm fucking 30 years old right now, and I should be able to have what Stacey has, because look at her. She's 30 years old and has that. Mm-hmm. And life is just, it beats me down. It's hard for me. I just don't understand why it's always me that I can't have these things. And it's like, let's fucking take a step back and look at it differently. So if we want to sit here and analyze someone, and granted, I understand he's the president of the United States, but look at Lauren and Mike Bostic. They do podcasts. They get criticism all the time for their
I love that you call him Mike.
That's my
when
guy,
baby. But he calls himself Michael. That's my favorite part. Is like, you give him a nickname.
Shout out to Mike, baby. That's my boy. But we sit here and we analyze. Even like friends, we'll analyze our friends.
Oh, yeah.
We'll analyze our family. As human beings, it's just the nature. When we first meet somebody, we judge and we analyze them. And so we're going to sit here and we're going to analyze what somebody's doing good versus bad and blah, blah, blah. And then step back and not analyze ourselves to the same caliber, to the same degree. Mm-hmm. And so what I want to challenge people with, and what I was talking about in my daily drive-by, is if you think that you belong advanced, if you belong in a different area, if you think you deserve whatever you're striving for or reaching for, step back for a second and ask yourself, well, why don't I have that? Why hasn't this come to me? Why hasn't anything happened? And more times than not, it's probably because you're not pushing yourself. You're not pushing the limits. You're not challenging yourself to be different, to do different, to think different. And because of that, you don't get different results. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And so if I want to achieve X thing, or if I want to live in this development or this neighborhood, how can I get there and what can I do differently to position myself to work down the path to be able to make sure that that comes true and that I achieve it?
It's also easy to look at someone who is in the same age range as you, came from the same place, and be like, why am I not here?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there's probably someone in the same position who's looking at you like, why am I not here? But you don't ever want to look at that. You only focus on the shit that you don't have. And that is probably the main catalyst of it, is like, focus on the things that you have. It's never as bad as you think it is. Like, there is people that we are very close to who live in this world of, why am I not here? Why is things not going the way that I want them to? Whatever. But like, things could be so much fucking worse, dude. Like, you live a life that people are fucking praying for, and you don't even realize it. You take it for granted, and you do nothing with the opportunity that you have.
So the way I said it, so in my terms, what you're saying is kind of like what I said at the end, is that at one point in life, we were dreaming of every single thing that we have right now. As human beings, there was one point in our life that we dreamed of the car that we have, that we dream of the house or apartment that we live in, that we dream of the food that we get to eat when we go out to restaurants. We wanted this life. We created this life, and then we got it, and we got comfortable in it. And so now that we're in it and we're comfortable in it, we're questioning why we don't have more. But like you said, we're not reflecting currently on why we have this stuff. Mm-hmm. We have this stuff because we worked our ass off to get here. So appreciate while you have it right here, and understand that once you reach a dream, once you achieve a dream, you're going to get complacent. You're going to get stagnant. But again, that dream then turns into something else. I always wanted a truck. Guess what? I got a truck. It was a 1995 truck when I first started. Then I wanted a Jeep Wrangler. I stopped appreciating that truck because then I got a Jeep Wrangler. Then once I got a Jeep Wrangler, I was like, fuck, this thing is so bumpy. It's this, it's blah, blah, blah. Fuck this thing. I want a smoother riding car. And now I'm focused on something else. And so whenever we accomplish something, because we worked our ass off to get there, we get complacent. Life changes. Politics change. The world changes. Your friends' views change.
Your friends change in general.
Yes, everything changes, which means that you have to keep striving for more and going for more. But as you're going through these different pivotal points in life, like you said, remember, reflect that this is the life that you once dreamed of, that you once wanted, and you can make it change. You can make a difference. You can make whatever happen that you want to happen, as long as you, okay, cool, I'm going to work towards this. As long as you have the right mindset. And to me, mindset is the foundation in those boxes that we check daily, that we talk about all the time, to be able to keep us thinking in a way that we want to keep elevating in life and striving for.
It's actually crazy that this is where the conversation went today, because on my run today, I was having like this exact reflection of like this time last year. This time last year, I was single, I was unemployed, and
damn,
both of those things were like the only things I could focus on. Like, I literally was praying for, if this is your will, at least give this relationship a chance. Now we're fucking engaged. And like, there's shit right now that's like tough wedding planning. Like, I don't want to say arguing over, because it's not, but like, we're having like conversations about that are tough conversations. I'm like, I need to step back and make this conversation a year ago, dude, I couldn't have even fathomed this. Like, I was praying to just get a chance. And I was like, we're planning a wedding. Like, I need to just be like, okay, like, none of this is as big of a deal as it seems. Mm-hmm. This is all going to work itself out, and it's all going to happen. I was praying for a job. Specifically, like, I don't even know what job I was praying for, but like, there's jobs that I turned down. I'm like, I'm waiting for something, and I'm in it. I'm on like the cusp of a promotion here in the next week or two. And I'm like, it's all working out, but I'm still like, I could be somewhere else. I could be more. I could do more. And it's just fucking insane, man. Cause like 1 year ago, not even long, complete Complete different situation.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Every single day that I wake up and I read my 5-year journal and I look back at the years, you know, maybe that's where I'm getting this appreciation and this like deeper...
I think I need to get one of these because you talk about it a lot, and I do think that is valuable.
Because every time that I sit there and I read it, I'm like, holy shit, dude. Fuck yeah. And it's crazy because there's some days where I write letters to my past self, and I'm like, guess what? You achieved this. Guess what? You made this happen. In one of my books, it was like, you're going to be the #1 seller at this company. A year later, I was literally the #1 seller. I closed the biggest deal in company history for this product line. Like, you did it, kid. Great job. Then there's other times where I look and it's like, oh my God, that fucking happened. Like, I don't even want to remember that day because it was a bad point in life.
But also, like, when's the last time you thought about it before you were reminded of it?
Yeah.
So, like, something that was weighing you down so much that you don't even want to remember, you haven't thought about in how long?
Haven't thought about it. And then it gives me the gratitude and the appreciation, like you made it through it. And so it's a constant reminder of all these things that have happened in life and the ups and the downs. And it constantly reminds me, like, dude, fucking be grateful, be happy. And I'm not saying it's always going to be sunshine and rainbows. I know it's fucking hard. And I know that life throws curveballs at you. And I know that one day something's going to get thrown at me and it's going to fucking try and knock me down. But I know that I'm stronger than I once was when I dealt with a certain situation. And then I came over it. And then I was strong. And then there's so many things. And so I guess the moral of like my story and what I'm trying to say, and this is not me wrapping up the podcast. This is just me wrapping up this thought that I've, I guess, been spewing on this podcast with you, is that no matter what stage of life you're in right now, take time to just reflect. One, to show yourself appreciation for the things that you're doing and the things that you've accomplished, for the things that you have, but also two, realizing that, like, hey, if I put a little bit of time or energy here, hey, if I stop focusing on these other things, hey, if I change this about my diet, hey, if I start getting active physically, hey, if I start soaking in God's medicine, you know, things can change. It might be a journey, it might be a road, but guess what? You've gotten over every single fucking hard day that you've ever had. So even though it's a hard day again today, or it's a hard week or a hard month, or you heard something or whatever life threw at you, know that you can get through it and that you can keep going as long as you don't ever give up on yourself. And there will be times you want to give up on yourself. But just remember, every single hard day that you've ever had in your life that you thought you couldn't overcome, that you thought you couldn't get past, you've done. And if you're going through that hard point right now in life, keep fucking pushing. You're doing great. Every single day, just check a box, whether it's one or it's multiple, to get through that hard fucking point that you're in right now. Anything can be cleared up. Anything can change with a little bit of self-control and discipline.
Literally. That's all it takes, man.
Not motivation, discipline.
I know you said you weren't wrapping up the podcast, but I feel like anywhere we go isn't going to be as impactful as what we just talked about. We didn't come into this podcast with any type of agenda, anything to talk about. We literally got on this whole tangent by talking about how busy life has been. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you have something else, we could discuss it. Mm-hmm. But we didn't come into this podcast with anything, so I'm assuming that we don't. And I just feel like if we try to force conversation somewhere else, it's going to feel like we're dragging it on. Because I feel like this one was way better than I was anticipating. And I actually feel like it's a conversation that I needed to have today.
Beautiful. Well, I love having these conversations with you, brother. I hope that these conversations continue to impact one person, and I hope that they continue to reach more people, because I truly do believe that what DTI stands for and the conversations that we have can and will help people out there. And so I just continue to thank God for the blessings that he's given us, the things that he's shown us. And I want to just continue to, keep thanking ourselves for showing up week over week, day over day, whether it's for DTI or our personal lives. But as Dylan said, we'll leave it at that. We'll wrap it up. Dylan,
guys, I promise we'll have guests soon. We're working on it.
Dylan kind of gave the outro to that podcast, so it makes me smile a little more. So all I'm going to say is have the desire to inspire. Go out there, make your dream life a reality. You got what it takes with a little bit of discipline. Kiss your mama. It's on.
Peace. Optic Nerve was our very first sponsor here at the Desire to Inspire podcast, and it's still one that we are pumped to be partnered up with today. I was linked up with them when I was living in Colorado. They are owned and operated out of Vail, and all of their products get tested in the mountains, so you know that it's built for an active lifestyle. Freddie and I rock these things all the time. They are made with planet-friendly materials, from recycled plastics to natural wood, and every pair comes with a lifetime warranty. So I mean, what are you really doing? Hit the link in our bio, support DTI, support Octave Nerve, look fly doing it. Whether you're just out enjoying a nice stroll or getting active, Octave Nerve has got your back. So go to OctaveNerve.com and use code DTI for 20% off your orders today. That's OctaveNerve.com, code DTI.